Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I will be covering database system architecture in DBMS. Guys, I have uploaded complete DBMS subject tutorials. I will provide link in description, you can watch from there. If you are watching this video for the first time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Guys, database system is nothing but it is a software. And whereas database system architecture means overall structure of this database software. Database system architecture refers to the overall structure and organization of database management system. This database system architecture will represent structure of DBMS and as well as organization of DBMS. Guys, organization of DBMS is nothing but how all files are arranged in database management system software. So this architecture will represent both structure and as well as organization of DBMS. It involves understanding how different components of DBMS work together. For example, I am using this database management system software. In this software, there is student database. Now I want to store information like name Sai, roll number 21 and section A. I want to store this record in student database. So I need to send request. So whenever I send any request, my information is not directly stored in the student database. Instead, at first my information is sent to this component 1 and again my information is sent to this component 2 and at last my information is stored in the student database. So database system architecture contains various components that works together. This database system contains two functional components. They are storage manager and query processor components. Before I explain the architecture of this database system, first you need to know different types of users that use this database system. There are 4 types of users that use this database system software. They are naive users, application programmers, sophisticated users and database administrators. Naive users are unsophisticated users. That means these users don't have any knowledge on database. They don't write any code. Just by using some interfaces, they will interact with database. For example, if you consider Amazon application, people those are using Amazon application don't have any knowledge on database. For example, I am user. I want to purchase product. So I will enter all my details and then I will just click on this buy now button. So whenever I click on this buy now button, my entire information like my name, my address and what type of product I purchased and cost of that product, time, everything is stored in this Amazon database. That means I am not writing any code. Just I am using interface in order to access Amazon database. This buy now button is simple example of interface. So just by using interface like buttons, user can access database. So they will not write any code. So we call this Amazon users as naive users because they don't have any knowledge on database. Just by using interfaces, they will access database. Next users are application programmers. We also call application programmers as application developers. These application programmers are responsible for creating software applications that interact with the database. These application programmers will develop application programming interfaces to communicate with database. For example, if you consider buy now button, this buy now button is an interface. This interface is created by application programmers. So whenever user click on this buy now button, then his information must be stored in the database. So for that purpose, these application programmers will create buy now button and as well as they will insert code inside this buy now button. So whenever user click on this button, particular action takes place, that is data is stored in the database. So application programmers will develop application programming interfaces to communicate with database. Next users are sophisticated users. Whereas if you consider naive users are unsophisticated users. That means they don't have any knowledge on database. And whereas sophisticated users mean these users have knowledge on database. That means by using structured query language commands, they will directly interact with database. And last users are database administrators. In each and every software company, there will be a database administrator. The main duty of this database administrator is to maintain database system. This database administrator is responsible to ensure that database system is running smoothly, securely and efficiently. These are various responsibilities of database administrator. And the first one is database installation and configuration. Database administrator will install database software and he will configure it. That is nothing but he will provide settings to the database like how to arrange files in database, security settings and etc. Guys, software company contains servers. So database administrator will install this database software on the servers. Next one is database backup and recovery. Backup is nothing but Whatever the data that is present in my database, we need to store the data copies in multiple locations. So if we store our data copies in multiple locations, in case if any failure occurs, then we can easily restore our data. So recovery is nothing but restoring our data. In database software, automatic backup takes place. That is nothing but it will automatically store my data in multiple locations, which is very easy to recover in case of data loss. Database administrator also provides data security. That is nothing but he will set password to database. So only users having those password can access database. And also this database administrator will give various access control permissions. For example, for some users DBA will give read permission and for some other users DBA will give write permission. If database administrator give only read permission, person cannot insert or update or delete data. Just he can read data. For example, if DBA give write permission, then this person can perform various operations on database like he can insert data, he can modify data and he can delete data. DBA will give various types of access control permissions to various users. And fourth one is database performance tuning. Daily database administrator will check performance of database software. Like he will check whether database is working correctly or not. And last one is database maintenance and upgrades. Database administrator will maintain database and in case if there are any new updates, then he will install those updates. All these operations are performed by database administrator. These are various responsibilities of database administrator. Guys, in exam you may get separate question like who is DBA and explain role and responsibilities of DBA. You may get this question in exam. Now I will explain database system architecture. Total there are 4 types of users. Naive users, application programmers, sophisticated user and database administrator. Naive users use application interfaces and whereas application programmers will write application programs and sophisticated users use query tools in order to write queries. Database administrator will use administration tools in order to define structure of database. Defining structure is nothing but creating database, creating tables and creating columns. Except inserting data, creating database, creating tables and columns comes under data definition. In order to define structure of database, this database administrator must write data definition language queries. Whenever database administrator writes data definition language commands, all these commands are handled by data definition language interpreter. This data definition language interpreter will process and execute commands which are written by database administrator. Database administrators will just create structure of database. That is nothing but creating database and creating tables inside database. And whereas the sophisticated users will insert data, insert tables, but also they will update data and they can also delete data. Inserting data, updating data and deleting data. All these operations are performed by sophisticated users. And in order to insert data or update data or delete data, these users must write data manipulation language queries. Sophisticated users, by using query tools, they will write DML queries. Not only sophisticated users, but also this database administrator, by using administration tools, he can also insert data, update data or delete data. So I am connecting. Whenever users write these DML queries are handled by DML compiler and organizer. This DML compiler will process and execute DML queries which are written by users. After processing and executing queries, this DML compiler will create one execution plan. This DML organizer will execute execution plan which is generated by DML compiler. So we also call this DML organizer as query executor. Guys, we already know what is compiler. Even in C programming we use compiler. Compiler is used to convert high level language code into machine understandable language. By using structured query language, that is by using SQL, we will write DML queries and DDL queries. And these queries are in high level language. So in order to convert these high level language queries into machine understandable language, we need DDL interpreter and DML compiler. This DML compiler and DDL interpreter, these both are used to convert high level language code into machine understandable language. And next users are application programmers. These application programmers will write application programs. Compiler will process and execute programs which are written by application programmers. I already explained Amazon application example. Whenever user click on buy now button, then his information is stored in the database. So in that application interface, code is written by application programmers. So after compiling this application program, That program is inserted in this interface. Whenever user click on buy now button, then his information is stored in the database. That is nothing but data manipulation. So in this code, data manipulation takes place. So I am linking this to data manipulation language queries. So this interface also contains data manipulation. So I am linking this to data manipulation language queries. Guys, this code is written by application programmers and this code is placed in interfaces. Now I will connect application program object code and as well as DML compiler and organizer. I will connect this both to query evaluation engine. Guys, this query evaluation engine is one of the important component in DBMS. This query evaluation engine will take requests from users and also it will provide response to users. It will perform various operations like first one is query processing and validation. This query evaluation engine will process queries and also it will validate queries. Validation is nothing but it will check whether queries written by user is correct or wrong. And next one is query optimization. This query evaluation engine will optimize queries written by users. Query optimization is done in order to efficiently and fastly retrieve data. And this query evaluation engine also contains execution plan in order to fast retrieval of data. And next one is concurrency control. Not only single user, if multiple users send requests at a time, then this query evaluation engine will provide response to multiple users at a time. And last one is result formatting and delivery. Guys, result formatting is nothing but, for example, there is student table in my database. I don't want details of complete students. I just want to see information of the students whose marks are greater than 30. So this query evaluation engine has capability to format my result based on my request. All these operations are performed by query evaluation engine. Guys, in exam you may get separate question like explain query evaluation engine. Then you can write this answer. Guys, this database system architecture contains two components. First one is query processor components and second one is storage manager components. All these are components in query processor. The main function of this query processor is to convert high-level language queries into low-level language operations. These high-level language queries are written by using SQL. First functional component is query processor and second functional component is storage manager. The storage manager contains four important components. They are buffer manager, file manager, authorization and integrity manager, and transaction manager. All these are components of storage manager. All these are connected to query evaluation engine. Whenever user send any request, after evaluating those requests, based on user request, either that request is sent to this buffer manager or file manager or authorization and integrity manager, or that request is sent to transaction manager. I will explain these four storage manager components in detail, but before that, you need to know what is disk storage. Disk storage is nothing but physically where your data is stored, that location. For example, in DBMS software, I created one database. In the database, I created multiple tables. For example, now this database and as well as complete tables are stored in local disk C in one folder. For example, that folder name is MyDB. In local disk C, in MyDB folder, my entire data is stored. Now we call this location as disk storage. Disk storage is nothing but physically where your data is stored. That location is known as disk storage. Now this disk storage contains various kinds of data structures like data, indices, data dictionaries and statistical data. All these are various data structures in disk storage. This data will store your data itself, like your database, tables, everything is stored in data files. Next one is indices. Guys, for example, if you consider textbook, in first page of your textbook you can see index. There you can see various page numbers. By seeing that page numbers, you can easily find unit. So index numbers are used for fast access. Similarly, in database there will be multiple tables. So for each and every table you can give index numbers. If you give index numbers for all tables, then you can easily find particular table. If you give index numbers for tables, by using that index number, you can easily find that particular table. So indices are nothing but index numbers. These indices will provide faster access. And next one is data dictionary. This data dictionary will store metadata. Metadata is nothing but it will store data about data. For example, in college database, there are multiple tables like staff table, students table, admins tables and so on. Now this data dictionary contains one separate table. The table contains various information like names of all tables in database and names of all columns in tables how many records that are present in each table, size of each table, and who created that table, which users has read permission and which users has write permission, who are authorized users. When last modification is done on particular table, all this information is stored in data dictionary. So data dictionary is nothing but it will show data about data. And last one is statistical data. This statistical data will store statistical information like how many records are present in each table. This is all about disk storage. These are 4 storage manager components. I will explain each of them by giving example. First one is buffer manager. Normally my data is stored in hard disk. Whenever user send any request, sometimes some data must be stored in RAM for faster access. So what this buffer manager will do is, whenever user send any request, this buffer manager will collect information from hard disk and this buffer manager will store information in RAM in order to give faster response to users. This is use of buffer manager. So in order to collect information, this buffer manager is connected to this data and as well as indices in order to collect information. Next one is file manager. For example, I want information of student whose roll number is 20. Whenever I write that particular query, this query evaluation engine will evaluate that query and it will send that query to file manager. Now this file manager will collect information from this disk storage and then it will provide response to users. So this file manager is connected to this data and as well as indices. By using this index numbers and data, this file manager will provide faster response to users. This buffer manager and file manager both are connected to data and indices in order to provide faster response to users. And third one is authorization and integrity manager. For example, I am user. Now I want to insert data in student table. Like I want to insert name Sai, roll number 21 and section A. Inserting data is nothing but in order to insert data, I need to write data manipulation language queries. Guys, all users cannot insert data in database. Only person having write permission can insert data. So this DML compiler will check whether that particular user has write permission or not. Only if that person has write permission, then it will allow to insert data. Whether that user has write permission or not, that information is stored in data dictionary. So this DML compiler will check information from data dictionary. So I am connecting this DML compiler and organizer to data dictionary. Authorization and integrity manager. The name itself says authorization. Person who has authority to insert data can insert data. So I am connecting this authorization and integrity manager to data dictionary. Guys, integrity manager is nothing but integrity constraints. Integrity constraints are nothing but rules. If any column contains rules, that rules are handled by integrity manager. For example, in student table for roll number column, I applied primary key. Whenever I apply primary key to this roll number column, then this roll number column will not accept null values. For example, one user want to insert data like name Ramesh and roll number he want to give null value. So integrity manager will verify his request and immediately it will give response like roll number can't be null. Whereas authorization manager will check whether that user is authorized person or not, and whereas integrity manager will check integrity constraints. Integrity constraints are nothing but rules. And statistical data is nothing but it will store information about how many records that are present in particular table. So this statistical data is also connected to this DML compiler. And last one is transaction manager. Even if any system failure occurs, whatever the data that is present in database will be correct. This is because of transaction manager. Transaction manager ensures that data will be correct in database even in case of system failure. Even multiple users send requests at a time, all those users will get correct response. This is because of transaction manager. Transaction manager will execute multiple queries at a time without any problem. This is all about database system architecture. Guys, this query processor components and as well as storage manager components. These two are important. The storage manager acts as middle layer between query processor and disk storage. The storage manager takes request from user and then it will provide response to users. Guys, in exam you may get separate question like explain query processor components or explain storage manager components. Then you need to explain all these components.